I'm Mike Dimas, and this is Pinball Shenanigans. Alright, it is time for episode 3 of Frontier. Everybody's placed their bets on the over-under of number of episodes that this series is going to have. So, let's get to work and, see what we can accomplish this episode. I actually did some stuff while y'all weren't watching. I didn't record it because I did it in a few little mini sessions and I didn't want to start and have to stop and start and stop. But what I did was rebuild the original Solenoid driver board. And, I did some upgrades and some mods and some improvements. And I'll go over what I did now so that, if you want to rebuild your Solenoid driver board, the things that you should do. For sure, you should reflow all the male headers upon close inspection. Mine were definitely in need of it. I reflowed every single one. And you could see some cold solder, especially on the end ones, where when you're taking off connectors and putting them on, the two end ones are the ones that, take the brunt of the pressure there. So those are the ones that are often the worst. But this is a beautiful original board. Like, it's got no burns. I don't think any components ever been replaced on this. All the original paperwork and stickers. Okay, so next thing I did, this is one that's pretty important, is replacing this 5-volt filter capacitor. Here is the original, and it's 45 years old, so it's due. And they say that for the most part you don't need to worry about this one, but since mine just kind of, I don't know, didn't look all that great. Actually, I think it's just dirty in hindsight. Maybe it was fine, but I don't typically replace this capacitor. But I managed to find one in my stash, 400 volt, 150 UF, microfarads. So I changed that one. I also did the fuse clip mod. The original fuse is this short little stubby guy. And most people don't carry these in stock, and I think they're harder to find, especially in this weird 3/16 amp value. So what you can do to make life a lot easier is you just remove this fuse clip. It's got two little prongs on it. You bend the one prong up and out of the way, and then you just move it from here to here. So now it's only soldered on. See, there's the bent up prong. And now it's only soldered on by one prong. But you literally just move the fuse clip up a bit. And then now you can use your standard size, what is that, 1.25" fuse. And it's okay to use a 1/4 amp fast blow in that space. So see, it says right there, 3/16 amp. Who carries that? And who carries these shorties? So it's just a quick and easy little mod you can do to your fuse clip holder so that if it ever goes in your hands or in the next owner's hands, it'll be much easier to deal with. Many times I've seen people just take the big fuse and try and squish it into the fuse clips in the original position, and it just kind of spays out the fuse clip and makes it kind of shitty and, loose and floppy, and that's never good. Okay, what else did I do? So the two caps, the fuse, the headers, and here we go. This used to be R52 resistor. It is supposed to be 390 ohms, and it measured just fine, but because it was burnt, I replaced it, R52. I went to the electronics store today. He's like 3 blocks from my house, so it's so convenient. And, it's recommended you change all the friggin' resistors And there's a nice handy dandy list on PinWiki. So I brought the list to the electronics dude, and I think I asked for 6 different resistors, and lo and behold, he had all 6 values. But I just thought I'd buy them just in case I needed them, but I didn't want to go to the electronics store and bug the dude for literally 1 resistor for 5 cents. So I bought 6 of them and gave him a toonie at least. So I replaced R52, and I also replaced this guy. Not really for any good reason, except that one came in a bag and was 38 cents, and I didn't really want to inventory this, so here's the old one. This is it calls for a 100k ohm 1 watt, but it's okay to go higher in wattage. It's fine. And it's actually, the newer one is smaller than the old one. So I replaced that, and I think, oh no, that's not it. There is more. 3 different jumper wires that you can add to the back. And I think I talked about that in the last episode. It's a simple jumper from test point 1 to test point 3. Both are 5 volts. You tie them together. It just makes things more stable and better and reliable. So I did that. And then, as I mentioned in the last episode, this is the negative side of the capacitor. So you just tie that into another ground plane just for extra stability on that. And then here's the other capacitor, negative lead here, tied that to ground there. So that has all been done. And yeah, next thing we're going to do is pop this in to the machine and see if it actually works. Before I do that, I want to test the voltage at test point 2, which is right here. That's the display voltage. Now, it's technically supposed to run at 190 volts, but to preserve your displays, you can run it a little lighter. So I'm going to try and adjust it for 180 volts. And now that I changed these components, who knows what the voltage is now? Maybe it jumped up because everything's all fresh and new. So I am going to pop this in and adjust that voltage, and we're going to see if the displays work with the original refurbished board, because they did not before. I was talking about how beautiful this board is in very original condition, and another indicator that this thing hasn't been worked on a lot or at all over the years is that, well, a couple things. Neither of the screws were missing. That's a good sign. And especially surprisingly, none of the 4 little standoff clips are broken. They're all intact. That is pretty rare, especially for a solenoid driver board, which is, I don't know, just like bulky and heavy, and most of the times those things, at least a couple of them, are broken. So that board may have never been out until now, so who knows. Okay, I disconnected the MPU, so no spoilers on whether the displays work or not. We're just gonna focus on, why is the sound doing that? I don't love that. Interesting. What the F? Let's disconnect the speaker then. Try that again. Okay, well, I might have fixed the board until it was broken. I do know that this connector shares some data with sound, so anyway, we'll investigate that after. I'm going to check these voltages on test point 2. Okay, let's see what we got. DC volts, 244. Wait, hold on, that's the power supply. We got some pretty serious buzzing coming from the solenoid driver board. I don't like this. Don't like it at all. What is going on? Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, it's buzzing. Why are you buzzing? Okay, something is not correct, and I am not sure what that is. So before it blows up, I'm going to investigate further and report back. Okay, so it appears as though I fixed this board until it was broken. I don't know what the issue is, but once you power it on, the more seconds that go by, the louder this buzz gets. So, you know, did I put my capacitor in backwards? I was thinking, but let's see. No, that's negative. That's negative. So those are fine. You can't put in resistors backwards. So I don't really know, but this, unfortunately, is just going to have to go on the back burner for now. And, oh, my mother is calling. I will have to just let that ring, and hopefully it's not messing with the recording. But yeah, this unfortunately is gonna have to take a back seat, and I'll deal with that at a future date. So I did put the Alltech solenoid driver back in. So let's just hope that everything still works as it should and that I didn't break anything else in the process. Hopefully that is happy. Yeah, okay, everything's back to happy. I didn't do any further damage, thankfully. I usually take 2 or 3 steps backwards before moving forward. Got the sound reconnected there. So, yeah, alright. I guess I put in a valiant effort, man. I put in like a couple hours into that thing. And for not right at the moment. So, I will deal with that later. I think we're going to move on to playfield mechs next. I think it's time to rebuild these slingshots. Alright, moving on to something that I won't F up, most likely. So this is slingshot number 1 on the right. Now I removed it because all of the holes that secure this, I believe, are stripped. And it's easier to clean this thing while it's out, of course. And, you know, probably change the sleeve and pretty this thing up. So that's easy enough to do. And here is where it was. I'll clean that up. But yeah, these holes all seem to be stripped, so I'm not sure why. But I'll just beef them up with toothpicks and wood glue, and then whip that slingshot right into shape. So I'll be back with the finished product. Okay, I lied. This is not the finished product. That is the toothpick in hole strategy. That bottom right hole is pretty gaping, so I had to put in a bamboo skewer and a toothpick. And same thing for that up there. I cleaned the hole there as best as I could and wiped off the majority of the carbon dust all over the place. So I'm gonna have to deal with these slingshot switches too. They look like they're a little bit bent out of shape. Maybe I'll just remove them now that there's nothing in the way there. Anyways, here is the slingshot mech all cleaned up. Coil stop. These screws were a bitch to get out. I had to use a little WD-40 on the one. This coil was black. It's much less black now. And got a new sleeve to go in. And then look at the size of a couple of these screws. I'm surprised that didn't make its way through the playfield. Good thing for the washers. That probably saved the day on that. Anyway, things are cleaning up and coming along. Alright, here is slingshot all rebuilt. Clean and snappy. New sleeve. That one's seen better days. 45 years old. I've removed the switches, so, you know, they're a little bent out of shape and dirty, and This is a nice, easy way to give these guys a good thorough cleaning. Use my Dremel brush. And then I've removed my toothpicks and just kind of like snipped them off with side cutters and then bashed them into the play field nice and flush with a hammer so that I don't have any fitment issues. So we'll be right back. Okay, and here we have the finished product. Nice and clean, more importantly functional. I did end up putting this extra screw and washer back in to help secure the bracket because, as you can see, there's an insert there and no room for a screw there. So just for extra security, I added that. And I did go with the longer screw and washer on this as well. Just, I wanted to get some real good grip on the wood. And now that all that is done, this thing is not going anywhere. It is on there rock solid. Check out this. That's the old before and that's the after. Nice and snappy. Switches are adjusted, cleaned, and reinstalled. And there we go. Alright, I may as well show you the before. How filthy this guy is. Oh, missing a screw. Interesting. Might have to rethread that hole or retap it. And yeah, equally black over here. And check out these switches. That's pretty mangly. And this guy, yeah, those are pretty bad. They are gonna need some love. All right, there it is. All installed, secure AF. Switches all straightened out, cleaned up. Look at this, nice and snappy and aligned properly. These Slingshots are good to go for another 45 years now, so that's keeps the game nice and lively and dangerous because, you know, now that I've done this, there will be a lot more sling drains, I am sure. Okay, I've got maybe about an hour left that I want to spend on this machine tonight. And right drop target bank, I'm looking at you. Alright, have a look at the B4. Lots of carbon dust buildup, but these targets should clean up nicely. They don't have like the ink worn off right where the ball hits them like they often do. Definitely very crusty where it was exposed. But in the grand scheme of things, this mech is so shiny compared to what you normally see. Like I said in the last episode, these mechs are usually covered in rust and white fuzz, but this thing is beautiful and will clean up. Very nice. So, alright, just for my own sake, there's a spring here that does that, goes there, and the coil is oriented, the lugs to the back, and Bally reads this way, blah blah blah. I took some photos too. Look at this. The original springs all look to be beautiful. And yeah, alright, I'll clean this up and report back. Alright, disassembly is not going without some severe shenanigans. Well, maybe not severe, but I've been fighting this last drop target for 10 minutes. And I've had to disassemble pretty much darn near everything because see that little bend right there? For whatever reason, that is bent. I don't know why. Hopefully that's not some weird factory adjustment because I'm about to undo it. And then when I go to assemble it and reinstall it, hopefully I don't find that, oh, that's why they did that. But let's see. Now, it doesn't look like there's any good reason why that bend would be there. There's not like some mech adjacent to it, right? I don't know how that would have ever happened, but I had to hammer out this piece, this corner that was, you know, right there as well, that thing was bent too, so I flattened that guy out. So now I need to bend that to a position where this friggin' drop target can actually come out. You can see I've been forcing it and starting to shave the side of the drop target just a smidge there. So I'm fighting this guy. He is the last bear standing, but I'll get him. Alright, I think I got everything cleaned up. Had to disassemble this thing a little bit more than I was anticipating. As you can see, I've been beating things into submission. I got hammers all over the place. But I think I got it. I finally got that last bear out of there. And check out how beautiful these drop targets came out. That secret ingredient for that is this super clean degreaser. That really helps get rid of all that black. So here is the main drop target assembly, all nice and shiny. There's the back, coil stop, the bottom, decrustified coil. I just cleaned up the sleeve. I don't really stock these, and I don't think I need to change it. The spring washer, and of course these drop targets are pretty. So how are we doing for time? Let's see. I got about 20 minutes left. So I should be able to reassemble all this and maybe even install it. All right, there you go. Finished product. Nice and shiny. All cleaned up. Not that they weren't working fine. So I don't imagine it'll improve functionality at all. But I got rid of this bend in the corner for the most part. I still had to fight this drop target in and out. It was a bit of a pain in the butt. But there you go. That is pretty sweet. So I am missing an original drop target on the left side. Is it also bears? It is. Unless this isn't actually original. There's a chance that that is the case. I need to find out. One moment. Alright. According to that photo on Internet Pinball Database, that is not original. It was wishful thinking. Let's look at another one for fun here. Oh, well. Just because it's on Internet Pinball Database doesn't mean it is correct. There's one more photo we'll look at just for fun. Hey, see what I'm talking about? Maybe that is original. Anyway, that would make sense. I mean, this is the first drop target in the series, so I imagine if any one of these three is going to break and get replaced, it would be this first one. But this is compelling evidence that it may be original, so I may not need to go and find another drop target, because like I said, I like to use originals where I can. Anyway, that's about it. Oh, P.S. Look what I found in my stash. A little dusty right now, but definitely that needs to go and be replaced with a repro. So I found that, and that's pretty sweet. Anyway, what is this? Episode 3, right? So that's the end of that. Oh yeah, I gotta clean in my cracks here. You know what I found? It's actually kind of a handy little method. I'm just gonna throw on my glasses here. I just changed the brush on my Dremel here, and this is not such a bad strategy. Look at that. I was doing that for the slingshot holes. Just got to be careful not to scuff up the playfield paint, because some of that dirt is deep in these grooves. So there's a little trick for you. And I'll give that a little wipe with some rubbing alcohol after. But yeah, it's a neat little strategy for y'all that just kind of made up tonight. Anyway, I'm out of here. Barry, you didn't even show up for your shift today. I did see him out there slacking in my garden out front under the tree, just chilling, watching the squirrels. But maybe he'll pitch in on the next episode. So we'll see y'all later.